Welcome back to our PHP course. In today's section, we will be discussing two essential topics, arrays and constants. Let's start with arrays. Arrays are one of the most useful data types in PHP. They will allow you to store multiple values in a single variable. Arrays can be indexed or associative. First, let's look at indexed arrays. An indexed array is an array with a numeric index. Here's how you can create one. Let's declare a variable to hold an array and name it as fruits. To define an array, you can either type array and parentheses, which is an old way of defining PHP arrays. After the version 5.4, PHP has introduced square braces, which is called short array syntax. So simply you can put square braces instead of array language construct. First, we can use the old traditional array language construct to define an array. So fruits equals array. Within the parentheses, we can declare three strings, apple, banana, and cherry, and separate this with commas. So this is an array of string values. This is equivalent of typing using the short array syntax. Fruits underscore 1 equals apple, comma, banana, comma, cherry. To output specific array element, we can use its index to get the value. An array in PHP is zero indexed, meaning its value starts with 0. So 0 would be the first element's index and 1 would be the next elements and so on. So if you wanted to output the first element, type echo fruits. Within square braces, you put the index of an array. So in this case, I want to print out apple. So apple is the first element. So 0. This outputs apple. The second element, echo fruits 1. So this outputs banana, which is the second element. The third element, echo fruits within square braces 2. The same can be done for the next array we defined, which is fruits underscore 1. So echo fruits underscore 1, 0, and so on. So moving forward, I will use only the short syntax arrays. Now let's go to the browser and refresh the page. You can see that the values of the arrays are displayed here. Arrays can hold values of any data types. For example, numbers equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is an array of integers. Floats equals 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and 0.4. So this is an array of floats. Next is booleans. Booleans equal true, false, true, false. This is an array of booleans. And then arrays equals an array of empty arrays. So you can also put values inside. And also you can put an array of null values. So nulls equals null. I'm typing it 3 times. Now there's a PHP function called var_dump that will display structured information, which includes type and value, about one or more variables. This is very helpful when we debug our applications, whether to know the value or information about a variable. So we can use var_dump function to print out the arrays we defined above. So var_dump numbers, floats, booleans, arrays, nulls. Let's go back to the browser and refresh the page. Since this didn't format properly, I will show you how you can output the values without clustering it on 1 or 2 lines. So head back to the code and add pre-tag before and after the dump to format it correctly. You may have known about pre-tag if you learned HTML extensively. If not, that's perfectly fine. Add echo, then within double quotes add pre-tag. Then note here that I'm using a comma instead of a concatenator operator. It's because we are not attaching the pre-tag before or after the var dump, but we wanted to print out exactly like how it would be written in the source code. The comma operator in echo separates different arguments each of which is evaluated and printed in sequence. So after the var underscore dump, add a comma, then double quotes, pre-tag. Go back to the browser and refresh the page. There's an issue with my code, I guess. Oh, I forgot to add closing angle bracket for pre-tag. Again, refresh the page. You see it's being formatted just like how it is in the source code. This pic shows how our code was before adding pre-tag, and this pic shows our source code after we adding pre-tag. We noticed that the content formatting didn't change on the source code before or after adding pre-tag, but how it was displayed was changed after we add the pre-tag. Next type of arrays are associative arrays. An associative array, on the other hand, uses the named keys that you assign to them. In this example, we add the name of a person and their age. You'll see an equal symbol with close angle bracket in the associative array. This is called a double arrow operator. It is used to associate a key with a value in associative arrays. So ages equals, within square braces, we put the first key. So Peter is the key, and then we put a double arrow operator, 35, comma, then Ben, double arrow operator, 37, then Joe, double arrow operator, 43. For now, we need to know the age of Peter. So echo ages, then within square braces, you type in the key within double quotes. So in this case, Peter. So this will output 35 because the age that we defined in the array is 35. Let's check that for Ben. Echo ages Ben. This will output 37. And for Joe, it's 43. An associative array can take different data types, that is, a key of different data type and a value of different data type. So that's it for associative arrays. Let's add some break tags in between these items so that when we display, it will be properly formatted. Let's go to the browser and see how it looks. You can see that the age is being displayed here. PHP also supports multi-dimensional arrays, which are arrays containing one or more arrays. Here's an example. This example defines an array called contacts that stores contact information for two individuals, John and Jane. Each individual has a nested array with their phone number and email address. So contacts equals, within square braces, we add key value. So the key is the name of the person and the value is an array of information. So in that array, we put their phone number and their email. So the first item is going to be the name John, then double arrow operator, and within the array, we have the first key as phone, and its value is also a string with value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then comma, their email, double arrow operator, john@example.com. Then add a comma, and the next item is going to be for the person Jane, and their phone number is 9876543, comma, email, double arrow operator, jane@example.com. So this is a multi-dimensional array. You can access elements using multiple indices. For example, to access the phone value of John, we type echo contacts within double quotes, John, which is the key of contacts, and then we access phone, and phone is the key of the inner array, and this will output the phone number of John. Let's go back to the browser and refresh the page. It displays the phone number. Let's check the email of Jane. So echo contacts within square braces Jane. The second index is going to be email, and this will output jane@example.com. Let's go back to the browser and refresh. There you go. Okay, so coming back to the code, let's discuss constants. Constants are like variables except that once they are defined, they cannot be changed or undefined. You can define a constant using the define function. Here's an example. Let's clear out all the PHP code. Define. The first value would be the name of the constant. So traditionally, the standard convention is to type everything in caps. For this example, I'm typing greeting, comma, the next parameter is going to take the value of this constant. So we type welcome, exclamation. And to print out the greeting, we simply type greeting without the $sign. So this will print welcome. So keep in mind that typically this is written in uppercase letters by convention. Now, we can also have constant arrays. PHP 7 introduced the ability to define arrays as constants. Here's how you can do that. So our define function, and for this example, we put colors, comma, the second parameter takes the array values. We can put within the array red, green, blue. So to access any of these colors, which are constants, echo colors without the $sign and within the square braces, pick a constant from the array. For this example, I'm typing 0. This will output red. If you put 1, it will output green. If you put 2, it would output blue. Constants are global and can be used across your entire script. This makes them very useful for configuration settings that you want to be accessible from anywhere in your application. So that wraps up our section on arrays and constants. These are fundamental concepts that you will use frequently in PHP programming. In the next section, you will learn about the types of comments used in PHP. Until then, see you.